Ministering Angels by Lori A. Thompson. Chapter 15. The Island Mystery. Joe keeps the island running in an orderly fashion. The boys keep busy with their duties during the day, play and feast at night, sleep hard, and then do it all again the next day. The boys lose themselves in the routine of the day. A systematic, obedient order replaces the safety and comfort the boys once relied upon. It becomes most apparent at preparation fire that their friends have gone. Nathan has the most difficult time adjusting. During the first preparation fire, Nathan couldn't draw. The next day, the hunters went out without any hint of how their hunt would turn out. The boys don't remember ever hunting that way before. Even Joe had an unexpected sense of insecurity. The hunt turned out so successful and so rewarding, he decided that drawings were no longer needed for the hunt. He was going to rely solely on the fire dance, songs, and food to get them ready for the hunt. Joe decided, even if the hunt wasn't successful, he'd rather have it based on his own preparation and efforts. He never did like Nathan telling him beforehand whether he was going to have a successful kill or not. What he did like was the idea that he might get hints on where to find the little critters. It was a sacrifice worth giving up. Joe likes how it made him feel so much. On that first kill, without any help, he releases Nathan from his preparation fire duty. It is the first night Nathan doesn't draw. He has trouble finding something to do. He usually sits by Brad after food and games to get him ready to draw. This night he eats and then sits by the fire watching everyone move about the cave. Carl comes over, picks him up, and then places him on his shoulder. "I just made fruit candy. Help me give it out. I let it soak in honey and let it bake in the sun for a couple of days. Here, try some," Carl says as he hands up a flat, long piece of fruit up to his face. Nathan munches on it and smiles. Carl walks him around, giving him groups of busy boys tasty treats. Carl sings and laughs, and the boys gather and tell stories. Carl set Nathan down so he can sit and share his latest adventure. Nathan wanders back to the fire, refusing along the way to play in the boys' rock game. Carl has cheered him up for a moment, but it dissipates as he walks back towards the fire. This time, he happens to sit next to the water boys. He overhears them talking about their days gathering water. It makes Nathan think of Joshua and how he misses the boys. He grabs the stick and starts drawing in the ground. He stares at the fire, thinking of the day the boys left. As the flames shoot up in the air, he imagines they are the animals with the boys on their backs. It only increases his sadness. Andrew watches as Nathan gazes at the fire and draws in the ground. Andrew is about to walk over when Joe shows up and stands above Nathan. He forces his knee into Nathan's back and gives him a shove. "You just can't stop, can ya?" "I'm just messing around and I'm not thinking about the hunt, if that's what you're worried about," Nathan responds. "Messing around, is that what it is?" Brad always took your thing you do too seriously. "You think you're such a help to Brad. You couldn't even give Brad what he needed before he left." Joe waits for a response, but Nathan just sits there. Joe pushes his knee into his back again. "Could ya?" Now raising his voice. "I couldn't see anything different out there than what I already saw. I'm sorry. I can't control what comes to me. Brad knew that," answering Joe. He tries to help him understand. "I know the story," Joe says disgustingly. "I'm going to give you a duty that will be more helpful around here. Let's see. What are you good at? What can a small, weak little boy do to help the survival of our clan? Forget it. Just keep Brad's place up there in good shape. If you need help maintaining the fort, give one of us a loud holler and we'll fix it." Nathan doesn't react, but inside he is elated. He can't believe he's given such a duty. Joe shoves him one more time. "Okay?" demanding a response. Trying not to sound too excited, Nathan responds, "Sure, yeah." Joe shakes his head in disbelief. As he walks away, Nathan can hear him talking under his breath. "I don't know what Brad saw in that boy." Nathan put his head down, but not because of sadness this time. He tries to contain his excitement as he begins figuring out his next day. He shuts his eyes tight, grinning from ear to ear. He holds his hands together between his legs while he's raising them up to a bent position, squeezing his hands tight. His insides are dancing with fun. He sees the dark within him retreat as light replaces the heavy. Nathan welcomes what seems to feel like an old friend. He forgets he is surrounded by boys. He can no longer hear the busyness echoing against the cave walls. He looks up and the fire joins him in his celebration for his friend's return. Nathan has never experienced the light without an intention that involved the island or the boys. It is his wanting to help that had always called it near. Nathan sees the beauty of the fire as he continues to look on. He accepts he isn't about to perform a duty, and with that, a quick inquiry of wonder. Why it came floats through his mind. He remembers Brad is gone, and the feeling of sadness returns. What good is this gift now? Nathan asks himself. Now lost in the moment of firm questioning and intense feeling, he loses sense of what he might be saying out loud or within his own heart. What am I supposed to do with you now? He questions the light. His sadness weighs heavier as he realizes that it was in sharing the light and all it has to offer that brought him joy. He remembers how it was Brad that fostered his gift, a love for the light, and Brad joined, breaking free visions in the fire. Like a slideshow, Nathan views specific moments on the island. It is different from his memory. They are the same scenes he could conjure up in his memory, like his first drawing. Brad was so amazed. The difference is the perspective Nathan is able to view them. Nathan sees himself in a different way. He's always associated these moments with serving Brad, the boys, or the island. This is the first time he can see himself in those situations independently of them. He feels a specialness in his gift. He sees out how it is because of his obedience to light, that his sharing of it, that allows its usefulness. His service is appreciated by the island and the boys, but still, he feels something bigger. He's getting a sense of purpose that these moments are just laying the groundwork for a happening that has yet to occur. Nathan is the youngest of all the boys on the island, but in this moment, Nathan feels time link with his age. He looks up from the fire now, engrossed in his communion with the light. His eyes pan the room. What has always felt like a duty now shifts to a responsibility. He sees the youth in all the boys. He feels a greater sense of responsibility, not just by what he is allowed to do, like the duties allotted to him by Brad, but by his own independent desire to share the light. He sees now how it is needed, not just for the preparation fire, but for each boy to see how they will develop. Right there, Nathan pauses and holds on to that one floating thought. He replays it as if it is a script given to him. They will develop. He mouths the words, this time still embracing each boy as they come into view. Looking back into the fire, restating the words again, recognizing their significance. They will develop. He can tell the thought wants to move on like a fluttering butterfly enjoying the sun. Its tendency is to leave as quickly as it comes. Nathan refuses to let go, commanding the thought to hold. Then he asks, develop what? As quick as a camera captures a moment, she is placed before him and then disappears, and the light leaves with her. Nathan sits there empty but thankful. The light has left, and with it went all the sensations he had grown to take for granted until now. Nathan sits before the fire as all around him returns to the cold. Wow, Nathan's face is lit with excitement of what has just happened. He doesn't move as he thinks back over the moment, trying to recapture the sensation. She is still vivid. He has seen her before. He looks up at the wall. She was just a vision before. What does she have to do with the boys developing? He asks himself as he continues to process the information and feelings he just experienced. Nathan stands and walks among the boys, still amazed by the drastic extremes in perspective he just felt. I feel so much older, he thinks to himself. Nathan doesn't know what to do with any of the information, but he can't hold back a laugh as Carl asks Nathan to join in on their rock game. He is happy to join. He plays with them on into the night. End of chapter 15.